Hi, welcome. This is Metamorphosis Mentors. I am your host, Liz Michael. Hello, and welcome to Metamorphosis Mentors. Liz Michael here, and we have just a featured U.S. Top 100 magazine cover innovation entrepreneur, national top 10 business owner, sales and multi-million-dollar businesses, rated a top 125 keynote speakers by Success Magazine, and 3-time award-winning podcast host, 2-time international best-selling author. Most importantly is my dear friend, Glenn Bill. Hi, Glenn. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Liz. It's so good to be with you on this wonderful podcast, Metamorphosis Mentors.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Well, we know that you have a great podcast. Do you want to tell us about GAP?
Sure. So the Get Attitude podcast originated back really before COVID. And our goal on the Get Attitude podcast is to help people who listen to it bridge the gap.
What is the gap?
Bridge the gap from who they are to who they want to become, and from where they are to where they want to go.
I love that.
And what is the gap? The gap is answered in the 139 podcasts that we've done with some of the most incredible people in the world. And I'm fortunate, if you go to Listen Notes, I believe we were ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts worldwide by Listen Notes, which is a pretty credible authority.
That's awesome.
I'm on a sabbatical. We've done 3 hard-charging seasons. And so I'm on a little bit of a sabbatical right now, and we'll get started on season 4. If I had to guess, it'll probably be at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, but it's been nice to have some time off because you know what? Everybody thinks podcasting is easy. Podcasting is a lot of work. Now, during COVID, it was a lot easier because people wanted to talk to you, but now that everybody's back living again, tough to get those guests. So I'm honored to be on yours. And thank you for promoting the Get Attitude podcast. It's been a real blessing. And, as you mentioned, we've won 3 international awards, one in diversity, equity, and inclusion for the 846 interviews, Stories of Black America.
Nice.
That was after George Floyd was murdered. It was a pretty riveting time. And our second communicator award was given, happened to be coincidentally September being Suicide Awareness Month, and we talked with Mark Hennick, who has over 2 million views on his TEDx talk about suicide, and we won a national award for that production. And then our third award was for religious and nonprofit when we took a deep light drive, not a dark dive, into the wonderful world of the Little Sisters of the Poor.
That was a great one too.
To never let the elderly poor, die alone. So those are just some of the things we've been doing, along with many other unbelievable billionaires, best-selling authors, speakers, everything. So go check us out at the getattitudepodcast.com.
It is filling the gap for sure. Thank you for that. I love your podcast. I listen to them often, and I remember almost all those that you mentioned. I'll have to go back and check one of those out that I didn't listen to yet. Okay. And I just would like to know first, what got you going on podcasts?
So, Jeffrey Gitomer, Jeffrey wrote the Little Red Book of Selling, and he's written, I think, 12 New York Times best-selling books. He said, Glenn, you got to do a podcast, and so as a keynote speaker, as an author, and in the world that we live in, creating content is money. I mean, it is influence. And, this thing called podcasting, when done correctly, can really launch your business and increase your brand. So as much as it was altruistic and for the good of all, certainly it was strategic and on purpose, because you know what, if you don't have a podcast and you're trying to build your own brand, you can't maximize your brand. So it's kind of something you have to do. And I did it. We were very successful at it, and I'm planning on doing it again for another season. But I can tell you, as much as I loved it and enjoyed it, I've been really enjoying metamorphosizing into relaxing and not having the pressure of a weekly podcast to do.
I love how you slipped that in there. Thank you very much.
That's what I do.
Right? It is. Yeah. So you have done many keynote speaking engagements as well. And so which one has been one that stood out in your mind? Maybe not your favorite, one that really touched your heart, changed your life.
Well, I guess for the Warm and Fuzzies, I did a really great keynote for the Indiana Parks Foundation, and all the people that ran parks throughout Indiana met, and that was cool because those were civil servants. They don't get paid a lot. They don't get a lot of top flight keynote speakers talking to them about attitude. And a lot of them had stories, and I learned more from them than they probably learned from me, and they were just so grateful. Probably the biggest keynote I did was for Ascension Health.
Okay.
And that was in Bankers Life Fieldhouse on a stage that was, I don't know, 40 feet in the air with 100-foot monitors. And there was a green room, and I drove under, and they treated me like I was famous. And that was for their leadership group. And that was probably the biggest venue that I've ever done. And that was certainly a wonderful, wonderful day and a great memory. But, every keynote that I do is memorable for one reason or another.
Yes.
And going to all the different cities and all the different venues, it's been cool. I think I just did my 200th keynote. I've been doing this I can't believe it, for over 15 years now.
No way. Has it been that long?
17 years of keynote speaking.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been fun, and it's a challenge. And I always say, if you're not good, they'll never ask you back. So
Right.
It's instant feedback. You either know if you're good or you're not good.
That's right. And instantly too, don't you?
Well, yes, that's part of the art. You gotta get them loving you from the beginning. So.
That's right. And you have to get them engaged, which you do a really good job at your keynote speaking engagements. Also your source, your real estate class that you do as well, which I have taken a couple of times. And it's just exciting to me to see how you've used your attitude adjustment to also help in coaching. You want to talk about coaching?
I was a football coach. I'm not people always want me to be a business coach and coach them in real estate. And I said, I'm a keynote speaker. So there's a difference between a coach and a speaker.
There is, definitely.
I'm total immersion impact guy. Not real good with accountability and follow up. I actually want to poke my eyes out when anybody, or if they want to coach me. I was, I was a football coach for 25 years, and it was great. But one strategy of life that I use is this idea of creating businesses that are vertical, creating businesses that feed each other. So as gross as this might sound, I've always said, to set yourself up, if you're listening to this, that no matter who you talk to, there's always an opportunity for you to generate income. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people are like, man, that's gross. You should give. And I believe in giving.
And you do give. I know that very much. I do.
Yeah. But I'm a capitalist, and my strategy has always been to involve myself in businesses that complement each other, that feed each other, because you can't feed others unless you feed yourself. Mm-hmm. And so the real estate, the keynote speaking, the University of Attitude, I've now joined in a company called Tom Loan, which is a disruptor in commercial lending.
Nice.
And I've been really doing more and more commercial real estate. So I evolve, and I probably have my hands in 8 to 12 businesses right now. And when I wake up, I never know what my day is going to entail. but I'm so happy that I'm with you today and we get to spend a little time. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's a little tidbit for whoever's listening.
Yes.
Trying to create their metamorphosis. Complementary businesses. Don't do a business that doesn't complement. Some people have a cookie business and a carpet business, and you can link them, but that's the key to
You
be
got the cookie crumbs in the carpet, right?
all that, or yeah, or I guess that you can give away free cookies to customers, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. So, what has been the charge for you? What got you going? What keeps you going? What helps your attitude? And tell some of the steps of a good attitude, if you would, please.
Sure. So, I always tell people, I got started very young. I was a Division I college football player and started a family. And certainly when you create life with another person, my wife, Colin, and I have been married 37 years. And
An angel.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
And
she's
so,
so dear.
she is a dear. And so, I always tell people that, my daughter Brittany was really my impetus towards all of this. That's, when I found that first child, the higher meaning and what it meant to become a dad and to really protect and take care of somebody. And, I got 4 great kids and my 6th grandkid's being born on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah. So, my family and is a big part, and I'm a pretty active Catholic and I try to receive communion daily. And going out and giving communion and praying with our shut-ins in the church always is a attitude resetter. But I was fortunate. I got into the business at 19, bought the company at 23, sold it at 40, and people said, how did you do that? And that's where Source of Sales came from when you came in and we brought you into the business.
Yes, sir. You did. Thank you very much.
The little gal from Kokomo that owned
That's right.
And so they, people just began, and I think people came to our company because of my attitude and the infection that we used to have in those Tuesday meetings. Yes. I'm sure you remember those.
I do very well.
And so, I've constantly invested in myself, went to millions of seminars, millions of gurus, gave them money. And one said, you ought to write a book on attitude. And he said, I said, well, having a great attitude is as easy as the ABCs. And then boom.
There you go.
this little puppy, the ABCs of Attitude, came out.
And I've read it several times. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, it's we are an international bestseller. And I don't know. I mean, we've done well over 100,000 books sales.
Awesome.
And that's cool. And so we have, what we call our attitude boosters, which is on the back of every card. And you've probably seen that.
Take a snapshot of that, people.
Take a snapshot. I'm guessing I don't know if that's clear enough for you.
There we go. It came in.
If you want one, just go to abcsofattitude.com and you'll get 28 emails. I'd love you to do it, Liz, to test it. So we just redid all of our websites and all of our funnels. So if you type in abcsofattitude.com, you'll get A to Z on the attitude building, and you'll also get the top 10 boosters.
Love that.
Which are, I'll be very quick, be nice, have a big goal, believe in yourself, do more than you're paid for, have a mentor, copy him or her, control your emotions, number 6, that's the big one.
It is.
Grow or die, love adversity. Number 9, eat right and exercise. And number 10, be a part of something bigger than you. So, those are the 10 commandments of attitude. They've hit big. I could do keynotes on every one, but usually I cover all 10 in our keynotes. And boy, it's just been an honor. It's, they've spoken to people, and that's, what I'm out doing when I'm talking about attitude. Those are the real simple steps. So check me out at University of Attitude. Just go to glenbill.com and you'll see everything we got going.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I love it. So one of the things, and you touched on it a little bit, one of the things I appreciate about you the most is the fact that you walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. So your faith life has been instrumental in your growth and your attitude as well. And I talk a little bit more about how it is that you share your day. Tell me what a typical day for Glenn Bill looks like. And I know there's no typical day for Glenn Bill. I know you well enough to know that no day is the same, but you do have certain things that you do accomplish in a day? And what are those?
It's kind of, from the Miracle Morning, which I've always been doing. I forget who wrote that book, The Miracle Morning, but Jed Blunt, I think, wrote it. So yeah, I always, if I'm lucky, I go to 7 a.m. communion service, and, I start every day on my knees and I ask the Lord to use my life, and move me through my day, spread his word and his goodness, and to have everybody that interacts with me feel the presence of Christ. So that's how I start my day. I don't know of any better way to start your day. Then I usually go directly to the gym and I'm a big sauna guy. And so I at least sauna 4 to 5 times a week. I think there's some real health benefits there. And then we go into my crazy life of Glenville, and that's never the same. It's we try to plan it. I can tell you that, that now that I've gone, 35 years in the business, very rarely do I take morning appointments. I only, my mornings are, for me to get done what I need to get done. And then I'm really only face to face from 11 or 1 on. I got that from somebody, and that's been a whirlwind great thing. So many people want to get you up at 7 a.m. and have coffee and breakfast, and I've never met anybody that's worth a poop at 7 a.m. I don't care who. And it's like a test to see if you'll really do it. So certainly, will I do a 7 a.m. keynote or whatever? Sure. But since I've started my day different, in a more mindful nature, and I have let all the commitments, I found that I don't sleep very well when I have early morning appointments, because I'm always thinking that's just the way it is. So
Right.
It's been a real health changer for me to say no appointments until at least 11, but preferably 1 and a lunch. And that's kind of the day that I have. I'm scheduled pretty heavy through, 6 o'clock or 7. Sometimes I'll work till 11, but mornings are for me and what I need to get done for me.
I love that. We share that, actually. That's my most important time of the day as well.
Yeah.
Cool. It's really important to get off to a good start, right?
That is correct.
So all the steps of the attitude boosters.
Yes.
Which one, if you had to pick one, it's like picking your favorite child, isn't it? Right? Which one is just the have to?
Well, I mean, they're all have tos, but number one's number one for a reason.
Be kind.
Be nice. Just be nice.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, if you're not nice, the other 9 don't hit. And 6, control your emotions is a big one.
Yes.
But ultimately, if you're being nice, you are controlling your emotions.
Yes.
And so, kindness, being kind and being nice, I think are the same thing. Maybe there's a degree of difference, but ultimately, you only making other people feel better. I call it your compliment meter, right? How many compliments can you give before noon? And so many people are like, God, I never thought of that. And I'm like, how many judgments can you make before noon?
Too many to count, right?
I can bitch, complain, and judge all day long, but boy, so it's really finding the good in others, right? And so being nice is, as I walk through a day, all I really do is I'm looking for the greatness in others.
Yeah.
And then I look to tell the people that I'm interacting with why they're great. So when you're looking for greatness and you're looking for the goodness in other people, you can't have a bad attitude when you do that. So that's
the life of gratitude, right?
Yeah. So it's and gratitude is more, that's more introspective, I think. And that's why I think it's more of a life of I guess that you can be grateful for others. But yeah, I'm more pointed towards, encouragement of others, and speaking the life into other people and pulling them up and that type of stuff. That's kind of that's kind of my jive, or
your gig. Yeah.
So, I think number one, things get Really simple. If you're
Be
just a
kind.
person.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me why managing your emotions is important.
Well, I always tell people to do this exercise, and if your people want to do it, I always say, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life. And then people
Wow.
start smirking and laughing.
Right?
And the bottom line is that during that mistake that you made, were you in control of your emotions?
Mm,
Very rarely are you making the biggest mistake of your life and you're in control of your emotions.
correct.
And so when we look at the biggest mistakes in relationships, the biggest mistakes in health, the biggest mistakes in money, the biggest mistakes, they're all rooted in um, somebody that has lost control of their emotions, right? Or
Yes.
they are completely emotional. So
Yes.
as I speak to people across the country, what they desire the most out of attitude is to have a consistent attitude. That's really
Yes.
what people want. Glenn, what's the key to having a consistent attitude? And I always say you cannot have a consistent
I
attitude
totally agree.
with
Yeah.
inconsistent emotions.
Yes.
And so, the key to consistency is the ability. I'm not saying don't be emotional, but what I am saying is that you have to have the ability to control your emotions, whether positive or negative. Because when you lose control, that's what takes you off of your path in life.
Right.
That's what causes bad health. That's what causes divorce. That's what causes drug overdoses. That's what causes, everything. That's what causes you to hate.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that control your emotions, big thing. Tony Robbins taught me that one.
Mhm.
And I just thought it was, as I've pondered it and as I've spoken on it, I really realized that the more I control my emotions, the more I control my life and the more bigger influence I can
Right.
be. Nobody, I always say in my speeches, do you know anybody that's not happy unless they're pissed off all the time? Not a person that controls their emotion.
Right, exactly. Well, there's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and that is every year you give a gift to the community in which you live. Do you want to talk about Attitude Fest?
Sure. So Attitude Fest, huge undertaking. Sometimes I sit there and go, what am I doing? Because it's hard. I mean,
Yes.
and it's good. And we brought it back after COVID. We had a good run and then we had COVID. Now we brought it back. And, it's the idea. Ultimately, our idea is that we want to create one day in the world where no one is murdered. That's really where this started. And so in my community, we have what's called Attitude Fest. We raise money for usually 10 to 20 not-for-profits.
Uh-huh.
We promote them at the Attitude Fest. We have what's called the 501c3 Corral, so they get to promote to the public that we invite to Attitude Fest. And
Yeah,
let's
so
see how
those are
food.
not-for-profits that come in and can promote the services they offer, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Mhm.
we've talked about gamifying it and doing all that and
Right.
raising. So it's such a huge vision, but the goal was we just want to have a day of positivity. We want to teach people about attitude. We want them to walk away thinking and analyzing how am I treating other people and
Mhm.
how is my attitude. We have a lot of games and structured events for
Mhm.
children and adults
Mhm.
that have a lesson in attitude, and we're just it's a day of giving,
Yes.
and so we receive a lot of press out of it.
Yes.
And I invite everybody that's been a client. We invite the public, and so there's some strategic benefit to it business wise.
Uh-huh.
And so our goal is to find 50 other people who love the idea of Attitude Fest and make them what we would call our attitude ambassadors. And we have a program that licenses all my content to them and licenses the festival and the layout.
Nice.
So our goal is that we get 50 attitude ambassadors, one in every state. We have an Attitude Fest all at the same time. And we have 50 festivals going at once. And then our goal is to do 50 in the world with
Wow, that's awesome.
national ambassadors. So we've done that. We've had some great, Nigeria was fantastic. We've had lots of countries do it. and I think it's on my YouTube page somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But the poorest, it turns out we had a competition one year, and the poorest country in the world had the best attitude.
Love
That
it.
does something, right?
I love it.
But,
That's awesome.
I was always like to talk about going to my goddaughter's. I took her to her prom, and she was mute
Mm.
and kind of paralyzed on the right side of her body. And she was with Downs kids and all those people. And we walked into the prom, and not one person gave a crap about their dress or their hair. And it was probably the most inspirational, beautiful high school dance I've ever been a part of.
I love
Everybody
that.
was supporting everybody.
Yes.
Everybody was dancing with but there was no jealousy, there was no
Right.
judgment. And there was just nothing but joy and happiness. So I'm like, man, that's pretty cool.
That is very
where we find great attitudes are often surprising to a lot of people.
yes.
And sometimes the suffering and the poor are actually can be the ones that have a better attitude than the people that are rich with everything.
Totally agree. And they are so appreciative of everything and anything, that it helps to just kind of do a reset in your brain when that's the case, for sure.
And I think you see that at the Jackson Center with what
Yes.
you guys do, for
Yes.
sure. So
Absolutely.
very honorable thing. Go check out the Jackson Center. They're awesome. I've
Thank
been
you.
supporting them since day one. So do it.
20 years now. You remember when it started. That's the Jackson Center for Conductive Education in Mooresville, Indiana. Check it out. They're changing lives every day as well.
No doubt.
Well, Mr. Bill, my dear friend, thank you so much for your time and all that you do for the community in which you live and the community in which I participate as well. And I just thank you for your life and for your gifts that you share and making all of our lives better.
Great. Well, thank you, Liz. You keep doing what you do. I'm your #1 fan, and hopefully I'll get to see you in person soon.
There we go. Thank you so much. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.